You know when a game just sticks with you for years, and you don't even fully know why. Unity is like that for me. The city is very big. You can see the rooftops going everywhere, tall towers and streets all around. It's crazy how much there is to see. Moving through the city, Unity's parkour still feels incredible. Every rooftop, ledge, and railing is an invitation to jump, climb, or just screw it up spectacularly. Sometimes Arno decides to do something completely random, but when it works, it's smooth, satisfying, and way better than stiff climbing in some of the later Assassin's Creed games. Running along the rooftops, watching the streets below, hearing the crowd, seeing the vendors, the carts, it feels alive. Little details pops everywhere, a sign of building, a flag blowing in the wind, a small ally begging exploration. Paris is huge. Hours can go by just moving around, finding shortcuts, secret paths, and of course, those rooftop jumps that make you feel like a ninja. Unity feels way different than the other Assassin's Creed games, not just press a button and Arno pops from place to place, but actually thinking about every leap, and sometimes falling flat on your face. And that's why Unity still sticks with me. Climbing towers, wandering the streets, Paris just feels alive, full of little details everywhere. And to be honest, not every game makes you stop and look around or makes a jump feel like a real achievement. You know what always stood out to me in Unity? The atmosphere. There's just something about the streets everywhere you go. NPCs are yelling, arguing, begging for help or just existing, and somehow it doesn't feel empty, it feels alive. The color palette nails that old, dusty Paris look, not too warm and not too washed out. I usually throw in a reshade to give it some extra life, maybe a little fake ray tracing, but honestly, the base game already looks solid. The city design is insane. Even knowing it's all built from real-life Paris, it still feels like a world of its own. You walk through a narrow alley and suddenly end up in a huge place full of people, shouting, music playing, someone probably stealing something, and somehow it all clicks. And then there's the ambient noise, birds, footsteps, whispers in the crowd, and it's kind of a sound that just sits with you, especially when it fades back in after a murder mystery mission. You know what's funny? Newer games look incredible now, like almost too good. Everything's polished, every animation is smooth, but somehow it all feels like a bit empty. This one's different. It's messy, a little broken at times, but that's what gives it a life. It feels like an actual place, not just a map. When you pause for a second and take it in, it doesn't feel like something someone built. It feels like a place that always existed, just waiting for you to find it. Let's talk about the combat, because this is where the things actually get interesting. It's not perfect, far from it, but for once it feels like there's real weight behind every hit. You can't just spam light attacks and breeze through it anymore. You've got to commit to strike, time your dodges, read your enemy's movement, and that alone already makes it feel much more grounded than most of the newer ones. When you parry at the right moment, there's a solid satisfying crunch that makes every hit feel earned. Dodging feels smooth when it works, though sometimes there's that light delay where your character just decides to eat that hit instead. It's messy, but in a good way. There's that tension in every fight. There's not the same old dance from the older titles where you could take down 10 guards while half asleep. Here, if you mess up, you're done. Enemies hit hard and every small victory actually feels like you pulled it off by skill, not luck. But when it works, when you land that parry counter clean and finish it off with a sharp animation, it just flows. It's smooth, heavy and gritty at all at once. You can tell they tried mixing the slower, more deliberate combat from the classics with the flashier modern style of the newer ones, and somehow it works better than it should. Well, to be honest, it's not groundbreaking or anything, but it's the first time in 10 years I actually wanted to keep fighting instead of running away. After taking a moment to look at the city and how alive it feels, my next challenge was moving through it without being noticed. Some games make stealth feel like a grind. Unity is more like trying to keep everything from falling apart. And honestly, that's what keeps it interesting. Take the mission with Le Pelletier, for example. Guards pacing hallways, serving wandering visitors everywhere. You have to pick your path carefully. Balconies, windows, blending with the crowd. Timing matters actually, and sometimes the game just doesn't care if you're in a perfect spot. Guards might teleport or suddenly notice you for no reason. And I know it's frustrating, but it keeps you on your toes. The AI is unpredictable. Sometimes the guard stares straight at you and ignores it. Other times they freak out over nothing. It's buggy, sure, but those little glitches actually make the stealth more exciting. Assassinations land perfectly when they work. Quick, clean, satisfying. Slow motion shots really show their flow. Arno disappearing into the crowds. Sometimes the animation clips, or your target does something weird mid-fall. Annoying, yeah, but kinda hilarious too. Crowds aren't just decoration. NPCs talk, move, interact, and that adds tension. Lighting isn't just cosmetics, it's how the player plan attacks and avoid getting caught. True, occasionally the crowd does something dumb and ruins your setup. Sure, Unity's stealth isn't polished like newer games. It glitches, it teleports, it can feel unfair. But the messy, unpredictable energy and attention to the environmental detail make every successful stealth move feel earned, satisfying, and cinematic. After chasing and exploring, it's important to remember Arno's story isn't about being the best assassin, it's about who he becomes along the way. So let's check out how Arno's story ends. He's not perfect. He makes mistakes, learns, and grows. Bellic, he's complicated. Someone Arno trusted, but also someone who pushes him to see the consequences of his choices. That rooftop duel and the confrontations in the city is not just the fighting, it's tension, respect, and betrayal all at once. And you can also see how Arno reacts to him, how he changes after every encounter.
Took you long enough, piss pot.
Belek.
Should've known it'd be you that'd find me. Only question is, what happens now?
You poisoned Mirabeau.
He poisoned us! Peace with the Templars is a fairy tale.
And you're the only one who can save the Brotherhood?
You think it's the first time this has happened? The first time that the Assassins have been forced to purge their leadership? The first time that the Order has built itself back up from nothing to power? No. Masyaf, Monteriggioni, the American colonies. It's all happened before. And we have risen anew, stronger than ever. But now, we've lost our purpose, Arno. We mired ourselves in politics and revolutions, but we're not a nation. We're an army. And in an army, making peace with the enemy is called treason. But no, I'm not the only one that can save the Brotherhood. We can. Together.
Belek. You know I can't do that.
That's a pity.
And then there is Elise. She isn't just a love interest, she's the reason he keeps going. She pushes him forward, calls him out when he slips, and never lets him hide from the truth. She wants justice, he wants answers. And that gap between them creates one of the strongest moments in the whole story. Even when they don't agree, you still feel the way they in each other. Every mission, every loss, and every step with them together or apart, it shapes who Arno becomes. By the end, you can only really see how much he changed because of the people he met and the people he lost.
Who built this
Up until this point, it was all Templars, Assassins, and the Revolution, but what I uncovered next didn't belong to any of them. The deeper I went, the colder the air became, as if the walls of the temple were alive, observing my every step. I wasn't searching for a treasure, I was hunting for the head of St. Denis, an ancient lantern carved in the shape of a severed head, said to hold forbidden power. Some believed it was a holy artifact, others whispered it was a curse forged into the shadows, and there was only one way to know. This temple was not built for worship, it was built to protect something or contain it. Before reaching the relic, I was forced to face ancient puzzles, mysterious mechanisms of stone, symbols, and hidden patterns, tests designed to judge the mind of anyone who dared to seek the lantern. They didn't feel like challenges, they felt like warnings left by those who feared what waited deeper inside. But I solved them, and with each puzzle the strange blue light within the temple grew stronger, as if the lantern was awakening, aware of my approach. And then I found it. A silent chamber, a lone pedestal, and atop of it, the lantern itself, glowing with a cold blue light. The instant my hand touched it, the darkness pulled away. A surge of ancient energy crawled across my body, blue and alive. It didn't brighten the shadows, it commanded them. I had awakened something old and watching. Holding the lantern changed the air around me. Its blue glow clinging to every movement, like a spirit bound to its wielder. But only when I cast its power did I understand the truth. The calm blue aura ignited, exploding to the golden yellow wave that rippled across the ground. And the soldiers collapsed instantly, consciousness stripped away, as if the lantern itself spoke directly to their souls. Not a weapon, not a tool, but dominance over the living. I entered the temple seeking answers. What I found was a warning disguised as a miracle. This place was adamant. It was sealed, not to protect the relic, but to contain its power. And now, that power follows me, blue when resting, yellow when unleashed. A reminder that some light was never meant to guide mankind, but to control it. So, if you ever discover a relic glowing beneath the earth, remember, not everything lost should be found, because once you take it, it becomes a part of you. Well, this was my first big video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I absolutely love playing Assassin's Creed Unity and all Assassin's Creed games, and I love to continue making more videos about it. So, and keep in mind, English isn't my main language, but I tried my best to make the script as clear and interesting as possible to match the voiceover. So yeah, I hope it worked out. And also remember, if you watched until the end, I'd love to hear from you. Comment below your favorite part of the video or something you would love to see in the next videos. Thank you.